In the world of high-stakes power, there are no coincidences, only calculations. Every move is deliberate. Every silence is strategic. For years, you've watched Elon Musk conquer the stars, rewrite the rules of the internet, and redefine what it means to be a visionary. You've watched Amber Heard become one of the most polarizing figures in modern history, a woman celebrated for her beauty and talent, yet vilified in the court of public opinion. But behind the headlines, behind the memes, behind the courtroom drama, lies a story so dark, so complex, and so legally guarded that it makes their public battles look like child's play. This isn't just about a celebrity breakup. It's about a biological war, a battle over frozen embryos, a secret life in Spain, and 3 children at the center of a mystery that Elon Musk, the man who wants to know everything, refuses to talk about. To understand the end, we have to go back to the beginning. The year was 2013, the set of Machete Kills. Elon Musk wasn't there for a cameo. He was there for an introduction. At the time, Amber Heard was in the middle of her tumultuous relationship with Johnny Depp, a relationship that would later explode into one of the most publicized legal battles of the decade. Elon, the man who could bend industries to his will, found himself captivated by Amber's aura. She was rebellious. She was unpredictable. She was everything Silicon Valley wasn't. He sent emails to director Robert Rodriguez. He was persistent. He was fascinated by Amber's edginess. But she wasn't interested. Not yet. For 3 years, Elon orbited her life like one of his own satellites, silent, calculating, waiting for the right moment. He watched from the sidelines as she married Depp, and he watched even closer as that marriage began to implode in 2016. When they finally connected at the Met Gala, it wasn't just a romance. It was a collision of 2 worlds, Hollywood glamour and tech empire ambition. 2 people who both felt misunderstood by the world. But as Elon's family would soon warn him, some fires don't just provide warmth, they consume everything they touch. Amber was the kind of woman who thrived in chaos. Elon was the kind of man who thrived in control. That contrast was magnetic and dangerous. Friends of Amber described her as a storm in heels. Friends of Elon described him as a man who sees life as an equation. What happens when a storm meets an equation? You don't get balance. You get volatility. Industry insiders whispered about the connection. Elon doesn't chase people, one source claimed. People chase him. But Amber was different. She was the exception. Why? Because for Elon, this wasn't just attraction. It was obsession. He had conquered technology. He had conquered space. But he hadn't conquered her. And that made her the ultimate frontier. Behind closed doors, Elon's emails reportedly carried a tone of urgency. "Introduce me," one message allegedly read. "She's fascinating." He wasn't used to hearing no. And when Amber didn't respond, it only fueled his determination. For Elon, rejection wasn't a dead end. It was a challenge. And challenges were his oxygen. Amber, meanwhile, was navigating her own storm. Hollywood was a battlefield. Her relationship with Depp was unraveling in real time. She was fighting for roles, fighting for relevance, fighting for survival in an industry that chews up and spits out women who refuse to play by its rules. Elon represented something different. Stability, power, a man who could build rockets and empires, a man who could offer her a world far removed from the chaos of Hollywood. But at what cost? This was the spark, a spark that would ignite a firestorm neither of them could control, a spark that would lead to secrets, scandals, and a story so explosive it would remain buried for years, until now. Part 1. The Dark Vortex. By 2017, the relationship was official. The tabloids called it a whirlwind romance, but insiders had another name for it: the Dark Vortex. It wasn't just a love story, it was a storm brewing at the intersection of 2 worlds, Hollywood glamour and Silicon Valley dominance. And storms by nature are unpredictable. Amber was filming Aquaman on the Gold Coast of Australia. Elon's private jet, a sleek Gulfstream G650, became a permanent fixture on the tarmac. Airport staff whispered about the man who could launch rockets but couldn't stay away from her. He flew in and out like a man possessed, juggling board meetings, investor calls, and rocket launches while carving out time for her. Each landing was a statement. Distance was no obstacle when obsession was the fuel. Their life together was a carousel of extremes. One week, they were dining in Michelin-starred restaurants in Paris, Amber in couture gowns, Elon in his signature black jacket. The next, they were hiking remote trails in Patagonia, trying to escape the paparazzi. But no matter how far they ran, the chaos followed. Amber thrived in unpredictability. Elon thrived in control. That contrast was magnetic and dangerous. Elon's inner circle was alarmed. His brother, Kimbal Musk, and his mother, Maye, reportedly despised the union. They saw a pattern of volatility that threatened Elon's focus. "She's chaos," one alleged family friend whispered. "And Elon thrives on control. That's a dangerous mix." Behind closed doors, interventions were staged. Family dinners turned into interrogations. "Is this worth it?" they asked. "She's a distraction." But Elon didn't listen. He couldn't. For him, Amber wasn't just a woman. She was a challenge, and challenges were his oxygen. The warning signs were everywhere. Amber was fiery, impulsive, and fiercely independent. Elon was methodical, calculating, and obsessed with legacy. Their conversations oscillated between passion and confrontation. One moment, they were planning trips to exotic destinations. The next, they were locked in arguments that shook the walls of luxury suites. Hotel staff recalled slammed doors, muffled shouting, and long silences that spoke louder than words. Then came the breaking point: South America. A vacation meant to heal their wounds turned into a battleground. Witnesses described shouting matches that spilled into hotel corridors. It wasn't just the couple, it was the entire Musk family. Voices were raised, accusations flew, lines were drawn. Elon, the man who could calculate the trajectory of a Falcon 9, couldn't calculate the emotional cost of Amber Heard. He later admitted this period was the most concentrated pain he had ever endured. Think about that. A man who has faced rocket explosions, financial ruin, and global scrutiny said this was worse. Why? Because this wasn't business. This was personal. And personal battles don't follow logic. They follow emotion. Amber's volatility wasn't just emotional, it was strategic. Friends claimed she knew how to push Elon's buttons. She understood his need for control, one insider said, and she weaponized it. Elon, in turn, tried to stabilize the chaos with grand gestures, private islands, rare art pieces, promises of a future together. But the more he gave, the more the vortex spun. And then, in the middle of this chaos, something happened. Something that would link them for eternity. They visited a fertility clinic. They created a biological insurance policy. They created the embryos. Why? Was it love? Was it desperation? Or was it strategy? For Elon, who preaches pronatalism and dreams of repopulating Earth, creating embryos might have seemed like a natural step. For Amber, who was navigating a volatile career and an even more volatile relationship, it might have been a way to secure her future. Whatever the reason, that decision would become the axis on which this entire story turns. From that moment on, the relationship wasn't just emotional, it was biological. It wasn't just about love, it was about legacy. And when legacy enters the equation, the stakes rise. The dark vortex wasn't just spinning, it was accelerating. Part 3. The Legal War. When the relationship imploded in 2018, the world thought it was over. The headlines moved on. The paparazzi chased new scandals. But behind closed doors, the real war was just beginning. A war fought not in tabloids, but in courtrooms and boardrooms. A war over something far more explosive than love: frozen embryos. The first whispers came in 2020, buried in a deposition from Jennifer Howell, a close friend of Amber's sister. According to her testimony, Amber's mother, Paige, revealed a bombshell. Elon was suing Amber over their embryos. He allegedly wanted them destroyed. Amber allegedly fought to keep them. Think about that. The man who preaches pronatalism, the man who wants a legion of children to save civilization, was reportedly fighting to prevent these children from existing. Why? Was it fear of leverage? Fear of scandal? Or something darker? Legal experts speculate that Elon's empire couldn't afford unpredictability. Embryos aren't just biological material, one fertility law specialist explains. They're potential heirs, they're bargaining chips. In the wrong hands, they're nuclear weapons. And Amber knew it. Behind the scenes, lawyers moved like shadows. Confidential agreements were drafted. Threats of exposure were whispered. NDAs thicker than steel walls were signed. This wasn't just a breakup. It was a chess game played on a global stage. Every move calculated. Every silence weaponized. Leaked emails hint at negotiations that read like spy thrillers. Destroy them. Sever all ties. Not happening. They're mine. The tone was cold, clinical. This wasn't about love anymore. It was about control. Court filings never surfaced publicly. Why? Because this battle was buried under layers of secrecy. It never entered the Depp trial. It never hit mainstream headlines. But insiders claim the Embryo War was the real reason Amber vanished from Hollywood. She knew too much, one source said, and she had something he couldn't ignore. Amber's strategy was simple. Silence buys survival. Elon's strategy was simpler. Eliminate risk at any cost. But risk has a way of multiplying. Because while lawyers fought in the shadows, biology marched forward. In 2021, Amber welcomed Una Page, and the world began to ask questions. The shadow agreements insiders claim NDAs were drafted so aggressively they read like military contracts, clauses forbidding disclosure under penalty of financial ruin, clauses binding not just Amber, but anyone in her orbit, assistants, doctors, even surrogates. It was airtight, one source said, or at least they thought it was. But airtight contracts don't stop speculation. They don't stop whispers, and they don't stop biology. Because while lawyers fought in the shadows, Amber made her move. In 2021, she welcomed Una Page, and the internet lit up like a switchboard. Who was the father? Why the secrecy? Why Spain? Part 4. The Vanishing. By 2021, the whispers had turned into questions. Amber Heard was no longer the fiery Hollywood starlet dominating red carpets and headlines. She was gone, vanished like smoke into the Spanish wind. No paparazzi, no premieres, no interviews, just silence. And in that silence, a new life began. Amber welcomed her first child, Una Page, via surrogate. The announcement was cryptic, almost defiant. I'm just the mom and the dad. But the internet wasn't buying it. Who was the father? Why the secrecy? Why Spain? The questions multiplied like wildfire, and every answer led back to one name, Elon Musk. By 2025, the mystery deepened. Amber announced twins, Agnes and Ocean. 3 children, all born via surrogates, all while she lived a life of total seclusion in Madrid. No Hollywood parties, no Instagram glamour shots, just grainy photos of a woman pushing a stroller through Retiro Park, speaking Spanish to her neighbors, blending into the crowd like a ghost. Spanish media began to buzz. Local tabloids whispered about a mysterious benefactor funding Amber's lavish lifestyle. A villa tucked away in the hills, private security, luxury cars with tinted windows. She lives like royalty, one neighbor claimed, but no one knows where the money comes from. Another source added, she's protected. Someone powerful is making sure she stays invisible. Could this be the ultimate non-disclosure agreement? A life of peace in exchange for silence? Insiders speculate that Amber signed a deal so airtight it makes Hollywood NDAs look like napkin scribbles. The terms? Stay out of the spotlight. Raise the children in secrecy. Never speak of the father. In return, financial security beyond imagination. Meanwhile, Elon's own life was accelerating into chaos. By 2025 and 2026, his secret baby dossier began to leak. He was fathering children at a record pace, with Shivonzilis, with other partners, and in rumored arrangements that blurred the line between personal and strategic. It wasn't just a pattern, it was a mission. Elon has spoken openly about pronatalism, about his belief that humanity must have more children to survive. He wants to repopulate the Earth. Is it really a stretch to believe that the 3 children in Madrid are part of that mission? Anonymous sources claim Amber's villa is funded through a trust linked to offshore accounts. Spanish journalists have traced property records to shell companies with ties to tech investors. One investigative report hinted at a monthly stipend so large it could buy a fleet of Teslas. She's not hiding because she's broke, the report said. She's hiding because she's paid to, and then there's the silence. Elon, the man who tweets about everything, from rocket launches to memes, has never addressed Amber's children, not once. For a man obsessed with transparency, that silence speaks volumes. It's not just omission, it's strategy. Part 5, The Legacy. Today, Amber Heard is a ghost in Madrid. She speaks Spanish to her neighbors, pushes a stroller through the park, and lives far from the toxic glow of Hollywood. Elon Musk, meanwhile, stands at the height of his power, commanding rockets, AI, electric cars, and the future of humanity. 2 lives that collided like meteors, leaving behind a trail of secrets, scandals, and 3 small lives that could redefine everything. If these children are Elon's, he has achieved the ultimate irony. He has saved his legacy, but he has lost his family. He looks at the stars, but his heart is tethered to a small house in Spain that he can never visit. This isn't just a story about 2 people. It's a story about control. Control of biology, control of narrative, control of destiny. Because in the digital age, secrets aren't buried. They're monetized. Silence isn't peace. It's currency. And these children, they're not just lives. They're leverage. They're heirs to an empire built on ambition and obsession. What happens when they grow up? Will they inherit the Tesla throne? Will they become the faces of a new dynasty? Or will they remain shadows, ghosts of a deal struck in secrecy? Philosophers talk about the paradox of progress. The more we conquer nature, the more we lose touch with it. Elon Musk has conquered space. He has conquered technology. But in conquering life itself, engineering embryos, negotiating existence, has he crossed a line even he can't calculate? Because rockets obey physics. Humans obey chaos. Amber's silence is deafening. Elon's silence is louder. And in that silence, the world speculates. Is this the price of genius? Is this the cost of ambition? Or is this the blueprint for the future? A future where family is engineered, love is transactional, and legacy is a contract. The truth is buried under NDAs, encrypted emails, and offshore accounts. But truth has a way of leaking. And when it does, it won't just shake Hollywood. It won't just shake Silicon Valley. It will shake the foundation of what we believe about power, privacy, and parenthood. So we ask you, what's your take? Do you believe the Embryo deal is the reason for Amber's sudden disappearance and her growing family? Is Elon Musk building a legion of heirs in the shadows? The evidence is in the silence. If you found this deep dive as intense as we did, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe to Elon Musk's Take. We are tracking every lead, every leak, and every launch. Don't forget to hit the bell icon, because in this story, the next update could change everything. Comment below with the word legacy if you think the truth will eventually come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at the next launch.